Jamie Oliver is one of the most likable chefs on television, but when he decided to try and tackle childhood obesity by changing school lunches, he set off a firestorm of controversy that's still going today. The schoolyard is a tough place, as kids can be mean. Jamie Oliver told Flow magazine that he didn't make it out of his all-boys school unscathed, saying, "I was a chubby, thick kid who was so bad at school I needed extra lessons for the simplest things." Oliver was diagnosed with dyslexia in primary school and had to attend a special needs class for 5 years, as it affected his ability to read and write. At that time, the special needs class was where all students who were struggling at school were thrown together, including those with severe physical disabilities. As a result, Oliver revealed that he was regularly targeted by bullies. His one safe haven was his parents' pub, where he began peeling vegetables and washing dishes for pocket money at age 5. Oliver told the Sunday Times, "My North Star has always been the pub." Sadly, in 2020, Oliver's parents, Trevor and Sally, sold the pub and retired after 44 years in business. Oliver was reportedly quite upset at the loss of his family's pub. Oliver had high hopes for his restaurant franchise, Jamie's Italian, which he opened in 2008. He wanted to bring an elevated experience to diners via high-quality ingredients and mouth-watering Mediterranean cuisine, all of which wasn't at the expense of any animal's welfare and wouldn't be too pricey. And for a while, his brand was flying high, eventually expanding to 42 Jamie's Italian locations alone. But by 2017, the chain was in trouble, with multiple locations closing, and in 2019, everything came crashing down. Oliver was forced to close 22 of his 25 remaining restaurants, including the grill-focused Barbacoa and his social enterprise restaurant 15, along with numerous Jamie's Italian locations across the UK. One former location manager told the BBC that they, quote, "grew too big and tried to do too much." Oliver apparently lost a small fortune trying to keep his chain afloat, as between 2017 and 2019, he reportedly injected an estimated $23.1 million into the enterprise to keep things afloat. But it wasn't enough, and over 1,000 people lost their jobs when the restaurants went under. Oliver told the Young Again podcast, "It was utterly painful, and it was something I'd never, ever, ever like to do again."
To survive in this industry is really tough.
In 2010, Jamie Oliver was the second biggest selling author in the UK after J.K. Rowling. The celebrated cook had become a celebrated author. In fact, Oliver has published a book a year for the past 25 years, which is an incredible feat for someone with dyslexia.
There's different types of intelligence, and everyone has their ability to be brilliant.
But how does someone who struggles with dyslexia write so many cookbooks? It turns out that Oliver doesn't put pen to paper or type it out on a laptop. Instead, he dictates his books. And it works. Oliver is currently the top-selling non-fiction author in UK history, and he hasn't stopped with cookbooks. In 2023, he released his first children's book, Billy and the Giant Adventure. Over the years, Oliver has suffered a number of losses, both personal and professional. In 2019, John Hamilton, who had worked closely with Oliver on a number of cookbooks, passed away at the age of 55. Oliver wrote on Facebook, "What a sad, sad loss. He was a great, true friend to me." Jamie also lost another colleague when MasterChef Australia judge Jock Zonfrillo died in 2023. Zonfrillo passed away shortly before the premiere of the show's 15th season, which featured Oliver as a guest in the first episode. Oliver wrote on Instagram, "I'm in total shock to wake up to the sudden death of Chef Jock Zonfrillo. Jock was very generous to me with his time and spirit in the show, and for that I was really grateful."
Jock was very good at being sort of stern, strict, funny and kind and vulnerable. It's an incredible cocktail.
On a personal level, Oliver also mourned the loss of both his grandmothers. His maternal grandmother, Betty Palmer, passed away in 2013, while his paternal grandmother, Hazel Oliver, died in 2018. Jamie wrote on Instagram, "My memories of her are so precious and full of love. She always had time for everyone." Tragically, Oliver has also had to deal with an even more personal loss. Oliver and his wife Jules married in the year 2000 and have 5 beautiful children. Yet sadly, they have also suffered 5 miscarriages. During her second miscarriage, Jules came very close to losing her life and says she still has post-traumatic stress from the experience. During an appearance on the Life and Soul podcast, she revealed, "I didn't even really tell Jamie I was pregnant at points, as I was worried he'd think, 'Why are we going through this all again?'" Oliver's wife also referenced the couple's journey through pregnancy loss in an Instagram post celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary. "We have created 5 wonderful children and lost our 5 little stars in the sky. Thank you for loving me the way you do." Oliver has had a number of high-profile controversies, including multiple instances where he was accused of misrepresenting or appropriating cultural cuisine. In 2015, Oliver shared a recipe on X, formerly known as Twitter, that he called a paella, writing, "Good Spanish food doesn't get much better." However, Oliver included chorizo in the dish, which, while common in Spanish cuisine, is not a traditional paella ingredient. The signature Valencian recipe usually includes rabbit instead. Critics took to social media to complain, even calling out Oliver for using the wrong kind of pan. Oliver stepped in it again when he decided to share his reimagined take on jollof rice, a West African dish that's among the continent's most iconic foods. But many declared that it was too far off the mark, as he'd added coriander, parsley, and lemon wedges to the simple dish. One angry fan tweeted, "Our plates will not be colonized." Food blogger Azoz Soko said jollof rice is integral to West African culture. At home and in the diaspora, we will take up arms to defend anything and everything about it. Its origin, preparation, and by God, how it is served. Oliver's misadventures in international cuisine weren't the first time he's gotten in hot water. Far from it, in fact. In 2005, Oliver launched a campaign for healthier food in schools, beginning with his TV miniseries, Jamie's School Dinners. The effort was driven by his desire to end childhood obesity and improve children's diets. But despite his noble intentions, the campaign was met with considerable hostility from various quarters. Parents, in particular, were divided. While many supported the initiative, others felt that Oliver was unfairly imposing his views on their children's eating habits. These critics resented the idea of being told what was best for their families. In some cases, parents even protested by passing junk food through school gates, arguing that their children had the right to choose what they ate. Some school staff also expressed resistance. The shift to healthier menus required changes in food orders, increased costs, and often meant retraining for kitchen staff. These changes were met with frustration, especially in underfunded schools where resources were already stretched thin. Some educators also worried that the new, healthier meals would be unpopular with students, leading to increased food waste and lower meal participation rates. Politicians and policymakers also weighed in on the controversy too. While some applauded Oliver's efforts, others criticised his approach as overly simplistic and out of touch with the financial difficulties facing many families and schools. Still, Oliver's campaign sparked a conversation about nutrition and set the stage for reforms in some school meal programmes. Oliver catapulted to fame in 1999 with the debut of his hit series, The Naked Chef. He's been called confident, outspoken, and charismatic, and he clearly doesn't shy away from the limelight. He uses his fame to launch his latest ideas and projects, which inevitably means more controversy. In 2022, Oliver sparked anger with another push for healthier eating habits when he supported a ban for buy one get one free deals on junk food. Critics blasted him for being out of touch with the financial hardships faced by disadvantaged communities. 3 years earlier, critics called him hypocritical when Oliver, an outspoken environmentalist, teamed up with big oil company Shell to stock healthy snacks in their grocery stores. And back in 2008, Oliver debuted a new TV miniseries called Jamie's Ministry of Food. The idea of the show was that Oliver would teach regular folks how to cook, skills which they could pass on to their family members to create healthier eating habits. However, some critics felt the show was punching down by portraying the working-class subjects of Oliver's ministrations in a negative light. Some good came of it though, as Oliver ultimately created a nationwide outreach organisation to teach cooking skills to local communities, which is still running today. Though Oliver has long advocated for healthy eating and living, sadly he hasn't always enjoyed good health himself, in part because of his hectic workaholic lifestyle. At the end of 2014, just before he turned 40, Oliver told the Mail on Sunday that he was only getting 3.5 hours of sleep a night, and it had been like that for the past decade. He shared that he'd been ignoring the issue, but it was getting out of hand, so he had to make significant life changes in order to foster healthy sleep habits. To help him sleep, Oliver sets an alarm to go to bed by 10 p.m. and controls the ambience in his bedroom, ensuring the room is cool, using light-blocking curtains, and keeping an eye mask handy. He said, "On a very fundamental level, I wasn't happy and I wasn't functioning like a normal person." Oliver also has suffered from a number of back issues over the years, including slipped spinal discs as he prioritised work over health. Ultimately, he had to make more changes to his lifestyle in order to get healthier. He told the Sunday Times, "My job doesn't allow me not to work. If I stop, this whole thing falls apart. I've had weeks where I've been able to stand for only 40 seconds at a time. Now, if I get a sniff of it, I'm straight to see my doctor."